Hi there, welcome to Tactical Magfed. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe and the bell notification, and you'll get all notifications of the new videos I've got coming up. In this video I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the Walther PPQ and the First Strike FSC. Okay, so I've got two of the most popular compact pistols that I'm aware of being used out there in Magfed Paintball fields. Very different markers. This may seem like an unfair versus or comparison video, but they're the only two that I own for starters, so they're the only two I can show you hands-on. But there are some striking differences between the two markers, so I'm just going to go ahead and go through them, go through each of the markers, how they work, and then sort of how they compare to one another. Okay, so first off, I'm just going to go over the PPQ. So the PPQ is a 43 caliber marker, if you like. So if I can just get one of these out of here. This is a 68 caliber paintball, or this is a rubber ball, and this is a 43 caliber rubber ball. So you can see here there's quite a big difference between the two, and herein lies the first and biggest difference between these two markers. Okay, the First Strike is a genuine full-size 68.68 caliber paintball. This is, you know, the daddy of paintball calibers. It's accepted on pretty much every UK paintball site, apart from the ones that are 50 cal only, or 0.5 cal only, I should say. So yeah, most rental sites, walk-on rental sites, won't let you use anything other than a 68 caliber paintball. There are exceptions. I think PPK in Kidderminster is one. Paintball Park Kidderminster, they have dedicated Magfed walk-ons and they allow these, and also the OMG events. The big events don't have an issue with people using the PPQs, and markers with different caliber paintballs, they'll let you use Umarex .50 calibers and the 0.5 caliber gas powered pistols, the .43s, they'll let you use dust balls, whatever is acceptable to them, they'll let you know what you can use, but they're usable on dedicated Magfed fields. The main issue you're going to get is on non-dedicated Magfed fields, where you're mixing it up with tournament players or rentals. Okay, so that's the first major difference between the two, is the caliber of the rounds. Okay, so that, the elephant in the room is out of the way. We'll go over the marker itself. So this is actually sold as a defence training tool. It's not actually a paintball marker. It will fire paintballs, it will fire rubber balls, and it will fire dust balls. If you want to put rubber balls in it, you need to change the spring out for one of these, the black spring that comes with it. It clearly says rubber ball on it. I think it's a slightly harder spring to enable the balls to be pushed out the mag easier. The main difference would be, I'd imagine, the less stronger the spring, the less likely it's going to break the paintballs in the magazine. So you find rubber balls, you take the spring out, put this one in. Okay. I only have rubber balls for it at the minute. I am planning on doing an accuracy demo with these rubber balls in the future, but I need to set up a kind of firing, shooting range area within the house safely, so I don't hit kids, pets, wives, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so that's the springs, that's the caliber of the marker. This thing is a 1-for-1 replica of the real steel weapon. So it fits all of the real steel holsters and such. So this is a real steel PPQ holster, goes in there. No problems at all. Okay. The mags are similar in size and shape to 1911 mags, I believe. I'm going to have to put that to the test because I need to get some mag holders. If you're going to put it in a mag holder, you need to release this tension as if it was going to be in the mag, because if not, they all fall out. You just have a pouch full of 43 caliber balls or paintballs. Okay, so to get around that, you just knock the tension, you knock the lock off so it's under tension, and then they don't come out. Okay, so that is one thing noticeably different. So with these, you can load the mags up, leave that lock on, so there's no tension on that paint, or very little tension on that paint all day long. You can load them in the First Strike mag holder and you don't lose them. Okay, so that is probably one slight advantage to a dedicated paintball marker, is they're aware of the tension on the paintballs and dimpling. I have seen or heard of other videos and seen other videos that have tested this for dimpling, so you can leave it in there for like an hour with the paintball spring, and it doesn't dimple or damage the paintballs. Similar with the with rubber balls, it doesn't really matter that much. You're not really going to dimple them that bad, but you leave them in there overnight or for a week, it's going to ruin them. Leave them in there for a game, it's not going to be a problem, and you can always take it out after game, take the paint out, reload it, just to make sure you're not getting dimples here, there and everywhere. Anyway, I digress. So, look, feel, realism, it's all going on with this marker. It's got the realistic safety trigger, similar to a Glock and the real steel version of this. It's got a working slide that's gas powered, so as you shoot it, it will cock back and reset the trigger. Really, really nice. In terms of realism, I don't think this marker can be beaten. The mags are very real. They're very heavy. It's all metal apart from the polymer grip and the bottom part of this. It's polymer, but everything's metal. It feels really heavy, and when it's got a gas canister in there and it's fully loaded up, it's significant. The weight of that is significant. Okay, so that's the PPQ. Now the other thing to note that all the working parts on this section, all that does is, apart from looking cool and having a working slide, the only function of this is to reset the hammer, so that when you pull the trigger, it hits that pin on the back of here and fires a paintball out. It has no other function apart from that looking cool and resetting the hammer. All the work is done in this. The valve is in here, the gas is in here. The FSC takes a 8 gram CO2 cartridge, and the PPQ takes a 12 gram. So the PPQ has a lot more air in it. You can get anywhere from, I think, 4 to 6 mags out of one of these. On the 5th and 6th kind of load or cycle through this, you might have to start cocking it, because there's not enough gas to blow the slide back. You might have to start cocking it just to fire off the last few rounds, but if you cock it, it will shoot the round. With the First Strike, you kind of get about, well, they say 3 mags. If you dial down the FPS a little bit on here, you can get a definite 3, but towards the middle of the 3rd mag, it starts to drop off. Another difference between these two markers is there's a velocity adjustment on the First Strike. There is no velocity adjustment on the PPQ. If your site allows you to use it, they may well say to you, you have to shoot off 10 or 15 shots to get the gas pressure down, so that it's shooting somewhere comparable with their site regs. There's a bunch of maths out there around the .3 caliber and the .68 caliber paintballs to do with, you should in theory be able to shoot these smaller projectiles at a higher FPS, because the impact force on your skin is less than the impact force of the larger projectile travelling at the same speed. So if you get a 68 caliber and a 43 caliber pellet hit you at the same FPS, in theory the smaller one should hurt less because there's less surface area that's hitting. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I think they're the main kind of that's the main features of the mag, this marker to bear in mind at the minute. There's a couple of other things I'm going to compare in a sec. So yeah, you've got your 8mm, your 12mm, 8 gram, your 12 gram. So the First Strike, as I mentioned before, this is a dedicated .68 caliber paintball pistol. I have used this at a rental field on a walk-on day, and I've used it on with rental players as well. Scared the Jesus out of them. They see someone coming on with an M4 lookalike paintball rifle and a pistol with a red dot on it, and which is pretty cool. That doesn't come with a red dot, I put that on there. You have to check out one of my other videos for how I did that, and some tips and guidance on how you can do it. Okay, so this has a working safety on here, a mechanical safety. It doesn't have a trigger safety like that one. It doesn't have any working components in it, so it doesn't cock, it doesn't do anything flashy. It does what it needs to do. It fires a paintball out of the end of the barrel. It is a 68 caliber, so sights will let you use it. It can be chronoed, kind of. It can be a bit touch and go, but they can chrono. You can change the FPS, so you can make sight regs for the FPS. The mags on these, so you can get 8 .43 cal rounds in this mag. You can get 6.68 caliber rounds in this mag. Okay. Now, the main differences between these guns is in the PPQ, everything happens in here. In the FSC, the gas is in the mag, but all of the shooting elements, the gas powered elements, are in the upper of here. So you have a valve here that connects into the marker. It gasses this marker up and shoots. So every time you take a mag out, you lose a bit of gas. I think that's why this one's so efficient, because you can change your mags on these things. There's no hiss, there's no pop. There's a hiss and a pop on here. You will lose an element of the gas in your marker the more times you take it in and out. So if you are doing drills and stuff, practicing shooting drills and things with drill markers, you won't get as many mags out of it as you would the PPQ. I'm going to do a bit of a test on that on a future video, doing shooting drills with these two pistols. The other thing to note is that I'll actually show you. So you load this mag into the pistol. If you didn't shoot all your paint, or you go back into the safe zone and part of your process is to take all the mags out of your markers, you will lose 2 balls out of this mag, at least 2 balls out of this marker when you do that. With this one, as I've shown it, there are rubber balls in there. They won't come out because it's under tension. Effectively, unless you've shot, actually no, every time you pull the trigger it loads a ball into the barrel. So if you haven't pulled the trigger, so if I pulled it now, because it's not cocked, it would put one in there and then it would fall out the end we took it. Anyway, I digress. You can take these mags out, so you could effectively do a shooting drill. You go 2 shots, mag change, 2 shots, mag change, 2 shots, mag change, 2 shots, mag change. You see where I'm going with this? And no paint is dropping out the bottom here. Nothing's stuck in the marker, nothing's dropped out the bottom. Really good. So you can pull that mag out, stow it on your rig or your belt somewhere, and your gun is effectively clear. Okay. Difference with this one, as soon as you pull this out, there you go, and there's one drops out because it's in the gap, and you can see that in there. But there is one in there, and the tension at the detent. There you go. So that one pops out. So yeah, if you have a problem loading the mag or seating the mag and you take it out in game, you're going to lose 2 of those, and then you're left with 4. If you do that twice, you're left with 2, and then you want to hope that 2 is enough to get the job done. So not a major biggie. If you're sticking that, if you're pulling your marker out to shoot it, you're going to get through all the paint anyway. It's only when you take your mag out on field, and it's not too much of a deal breaker to get around that. You can pop the marker up, take it out that way, and then get the paint out. So you don't have to drop it on the floor. If you're worried about losing a couple of balls, you can just knock it out on the field and then put your mag back where you want to put it. Okay, so yeah, there's no real pros and cons to either of these. All depends where you're going to use your pistol the most. If you're only ever going to use a pistol on an event game and you're not worried about it on a rental field, you can rock with the PPQ because it'll be allowed on those events. Like I say, there are dedicated Magfed walk-ons on rental fields that will allow you to do this. PPK Kidderminster, Paintball Park Kidderminster is one of them. They do a big Magfed event. I think it's every couple of months. I haven't managed to get to one of those yet. I'm really keen on doing it. There's a few other YouTubers that go there that are well known. I think Mr. Hidden Hedgehog and Barker and Yellow Man and things like that. Maybe Dregner. All those guys have shown their faces on that field at some point. So check it out. If you're going to be using it with mixed games, so if you're doing walk-on games where you've got Woods Ball tournament players rocking up with all the electronic guns and stuff, and you want to have a backup pistol because you're going to run out of paint. You go up against one of those guys, you're going to run out of paint. So instead of firing 20 rounds out of your marker or 19 on your T15, if you've got first strikes, then yeah, you're going to want to side out. That then gives you 26 paintballs instead of 20 to fire back at people if you're quick enough on the draw. So if you're going to do both and you're going to spend a lot of time on rental fields and you only want to get one, go for the first strike. If you're not bothered about a pistol on rental sites and things like that, and you're only going to use it in the big Magfed games like OMG events, go with the PPQ. One other thing to note is, and this can't fire any shaped round projectiles, shaped rounds. It'll only take the round balls of any description on there. The first strike obviously will take first strike rounds out of the box. What else? I don't have any first strikes with me. But I do have these rubber projectiles, which they're supposed to be for testing your marker. So you definitely don't want to have these anywhere near a site when you go to site. Don't have them in your marker or in any of your mags. These are for zeroing sights and just checking that your marker can fire first strikes. They should be the same size and shape as a first strike round. And obviously, the difference between these two, if you want to fire first strikes, the only option between these two markers is the FSC, and you can load these shaped projectiles into the first strike marker. Okay, pretty cool. I am going to do a shooting demo on these plastic. They're not rubber, they're solid plastic. These plastic first strike imitation rounds, just to see what they're like, see how they shoot. Might be a bit of fun for some kind of two-gun challenges on targets when you're not going to get paint splattered everywhere. Anyway, so that's the first strikes on here. And of course, First Strike make a holster for the First Strike FSC. So there we go, it fits on there. It is nice and snug. It doesn't have the trigger lock like the one for the PPQ does. So you do have to have it in there pretty tight. I haven't lost my pistol out of here before. I did have an issue when I first bought this that when you're running around, if you lean on something, it can pop the mag out. It will hit the mag release, and you'll hear a pff, and the gas, because these are kind of like gas-propelled projectiles when you do it, the gas in here will shoot your mag out a little bit, and it is enough to fling it clean out your gun, at your marker if you're not careful. So basically, there's an easy fix for that. I might do another video on it if you're interested, or this might be enough. So I don't know if you can see that on there, but effectively I drilled a hole exactly where the mag release is on the holster, so that when the pistol is in the holster, if you pinch the sides together as if you were moving around on the field, the there's nothing to touch the mag release in there, if you can see that. I don't know if you can. Okay, if you can see that, then yeah, there's nothing to catch it. It fixed that problem, it's not an issue anymore. All good to go. Okay, so that's the two markers that I have, my two pistols. Quick side-by-side comparison. Obviously, I've got personal favourites. I love the PPQ. I love the way it looks, I love the way it handles, I love the way it feels. But it does have its limitations. You can't always carry it. I always like to carry a pistol when I'm out there on the field. So if I'm going to any big events that will allow this one, I'll use that. Otherwise, my daily, if you like, not that I can get out there daily, pistol is the FSC. I go out to Apocalypse Paintball here in Cambridgeshire, and they allow me to use this. Where else am I going to go? I haven't been there yet, but I'm looking to go to Combat Paintball, I think, near Abbots Ripton, near St Ives. Hopefully let me use that. They've said I can take my Magfed gear and use that, so that's all good. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So that's my side-by-side comparison of the FSC, the First Strike FSC, and the PPQ, the Umarex PPQ M2. Hope it's kind of provided some good information for you. If there's any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you in the next video.